Hi, Glenn Wallace here with the new Wampler Ethereal delay and reverb. Pretty cool little pedal. It's a delay and a reverb all in one, and it actually has two delays going on at the same time depending on what subdivision you're on. It adds a second one behind it. Before I start going through knobs and stuff, let me just make some sounds. Cool, so there's some sounds. All right, so I'll start going through the knobs. So the delay and reverb are on together the entire time, and the tone knob affects the tone of the repeats and the tone of the reverb. And feedback knob, there's your amount of repeats and delay speed. There is no tap tempo. There's a trails button on the side, which I really like. Love pedals with trails. And then your subdivision knobs. So first, let me go through the delay. So it has up to 1,000 milliseconds of delay. Here it is all the way. And the repeats will go for quite a while. So all the way back. Nothing. Cool little slapback sound right there. So still kind of in slapback territory, not quite though. All right, let me crank up the mix a little. As you can hear, it's pretty subtle. So that's the mix above 12 o'clock, and it's still back there. It's not taking over anything. Let me push the mix up even more. And all the way. So I like that. It's subtle, even all the way up. It's not taking over your clean tone entirely. Now, one thing with this tone knob, it definitely brings out more of the repeats. So say I dial it up to 3. Definitely more in there. Bring it up all the way. Very cool for rhythmic stuff when it's all the way up. Now when you duck it all the way back, it's really down there in the mix. So with the delay knob all the way up, or mix knob all the way up, that's pretty back there when you have the tone back. And if I dial this back even more, okay, so before I get to the reverb part, we start exploring some of the subdivisions. So the way the manual explains it is that the first one is quarter notes, and after that it adds one of these subdivisions behind the quarter note that's already going. So on the triplet one, to be honest, I can't really hear it doing triplets. I hear it swinging the notes. And I've said this before, a lot of delay pedals, the triplet subdivision, I don't often hear just triplets going. Maybe it's not designed to do that. I do find if you start playing swung rhythms, though, you will start getting triplet repeats. So maybe it's not echoing true triplets, but it still sounds pretty cool. Going to this is the quarter plus a dotted eighth right there. All right. See if I can find something a little more rhythmic right here. That was a little vamp on some Ocarina of Time Zelda for you gamer fans out there. All right, and then last, this looks like another quarter plus a dotted eighth, but there's a dot above it. Full transparency, did not read the entire manual, but this one does sound different. I did read something in there. It says that they're kind of going back and forth and feeding into each other. As you can hear, it just kind of gets more and more as it goes on. Here, I'll turn the repeats up. Starts to go into a kind of self-oscillation right there. definitely very cool for spacey kind of stuff. All right, so reverb side of the pedal. The reverb kicks in pretty quick down here. There's nothing. All right, going right here is where it starts to happen, right about, it's not even 9 o'clock yet on there. And it's very subtle, but if you pull the tone knob up, you will get more of it. If you go all the way back and darken up the reverb, it's barely in there. Okay, so let me pull it up to 9 o'clock. Now you can really start to hear it come in. It's got a nice hall kind of reverb, but it's also kind of like a shimmer reverb because of the tone knob. It's similar to the MXR M300 actually. So past 9 o'clock, it really starts hanging around, even with the tone knob back. Pretty in there. All right, bring it up to about 12 o'clock. Now if I go the tone knob all the way back with the reverb all the way up, it's still pretty in there, but it's a lot more subtle. Bring the tone knob all the way up, gets pretty ferociously ambient. Okay, and now let's start hearing some of them together because they really do complement each other quite a bit. If I get them all right here up at 12 o'clock. So what it sounds like to me is the higher you have the delay repeats set, they sort of feed into the reverb and it just kind of builds on itself. You know, I'll do something very simple here, especially on this subdivision setting where they're supposed to feed back into each other. So just kind of start doing just little one-note single lines and see how it builds. If you start increasing your volume with the pick, it starts to build even more. So speaking of increasing the volume, you really start to hear it build on itself when you throw some overdrive behind it. Got a old school effects rootless tree behind it right now. Here we go. There's just my rootless tree into the Ethereal. So I've noticed with some kind of ambient reverbs, no matter what you're playing, the reverb signal when it's turned up enough just completely takes over the signal. And this one doesn't. It's very responsive to your picking, which is always very cool. I really like to run it more subtle settings behind everything. I have tap tempo delays for ones that I actually want to do rhythmic stuff with. But this is nice to just kind of leave on for some, you know, patty kind of songs. So that's fun. We can just set little subtle settings and turn it on, and you just get a nice warm ambient complement to your sound without getting too crazy and trying to find a whole bunch of settings between different delays and reverbs. You have it all on one. Of course, again, I said trails mode, always a cool thing. Love trails mode. I do like that the subdivision button is right here. You can operate it with your foot if you want to. Let's hear it with a couple other pedals. Here it is with a Strymon Flint. Boss vibrato. And with another delay. Here it is with the Pink Panther, JHS Pink Panther. I'll tap in something here, and I'm just going to leave the settings I have on the Wampler here, and or Wampler, I never say that right. I really like that because the JHS delay pedals, all the ones I've used, the repeats have a lot of volume, even when the mix knob is set kind of low. And because this one is such a subtle pedal, it's nice and complementary. You can just throw it on behind other ambient delay or modulation pedals, and it just kind of warms up the sound, adds a little something to them without just being way, way too much. So I was very impressed with this pedal. It's definitely making its way onto my live rig. Love the small footprint. Love the color. It's just cool. There's some wings. That's cool. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos. Have a good one.